Namaskar friends. I welcome you all to lecture 3 of module 6 of the stress management course. We are continuing with relationships as potential stressor theme, and this lecture is devoted to the understanding of the marital relationship as a potential source of stress. Here is what we are going to cover in this lecture. We will talk how marital relationships which are strained and are full of conflict can lead to significant stress in the life of people. We will also try to dive deep into the causes of marital conflicts, and we will try to examine their impact on the mental and physical health of the people involved in it. Finally, our discussion will be focused on how these conflicts can be managed in a better way so that we can reduce the level of stress significantly and ensure happiness and health in our life. Let us begin with this. First of all, let me begin with highlighting the importance of marital relationships in India. Friends, in collectivistic societies where family is considered the basic unit of society, marital bonds are of prime importance. Unlike the Western societies where entering into a marital relationship and getting out of it both are easier, in India or in any other collectivistic society, formation and breaking of marital relationship is not so easy. This is a part of our life which consumes maximum of the resources, the physical and mental resources, in order to stabilize the relationships that we have. What happens that whenever the relationship or bond between two people who have come together to form the family, who have come together to start a new family by welcoming a new member, when they do not share a congenial relationship with each other, it becomes a major cause of stress. There are multiple manifestations of such stress, such as emotional strain, mental health disorders, and even physical health problems which are long lasting. What are the possible causes of marital discord or conflict? The list is really long, and as is true for parent-child relationship, the marital relationship is also unique in its own ways. We cannot completely predict what can cause conflict and what can bring in harmony back to the relationship. Much depends on the personality, intentions, value system, and readiness of the husband and wife to secure the relationship, to protect the relationship. However, here are certain common problems which contribute in marital discord and creates marital conflict. The first one is communication problem. If I am not successfully communicating my needs, my demands, my expectations, or things which I feel bad about to my partner, and I simply expect him or her to understand it automatically, this is a kind of aspiration which is very difficult to fulfill. The other person, no matter how well he knows me or she knows me, cannot be expected to predict everything which is going on in my mind and act accordingly. If I want to ensure support and compliance on certain aspects, I must be vocal and clear about stating those things to my partner. Otherwise, when I have certain expectations in my mind, the other person is not able to read it appropriately and may be behaving in an entirely opposite manner, can cause a great deal of irritation in me. This happens especially in case of those persons who are high in trait empathy. Therefore, they can quickly adopt the perspective of their partner and they could understand pretty much accuracy, with pretty much accuracy, what the partner may be feeling or what the partner may need. But the same may not be true for the partner himself. That person may not be high in trait empathy like you are. And when you start comparing your contribution in the relationship with the contribution of the other person, and you find that you are able to understand each and everything without saying a word and you are acting accordingly, why not the other person is doing the same thing? Why not he or she is capable of understanding you as accurately as you can? This may be something that cannot happen all the time. Some people are very good at doing this, others are not. So instead of getting irritated with the thought that the other person is not able to understand you but you can, so probably he is not trying, probably his intention is not to understand you fully or not to act according to your wish. Instead of keep thinking these things, it is better if you clearly state what you want and why do you want so. Second thing, if you are in a state of disagreement, if you are already having some kind of conflict or disagreement with the other person, again it is important to maintain a clear and open communication, because ultimately you have to come to the table and have a talk to each other in a matured way. Then only you can find a way to resolve your disagreement. Otherwise, your disagreement will continue and it may keep growing as well. Another important reason on which husband and wife usually uh, get in the process of conflict are the budget battles. Means how much finance, how much funds are available and how those funds should be spent, or when and how much fund is to be saved for future. If saved for future, what kind of saving mode should be utilized. So, if both partners differ a lot with respect to their priorities of expenditure, with respect to their style to manage wealth, with respect to how and where the money should be invested and how and when it should be utilized, all these things become a major cause of conflict in husband-wife relationship. Sometimes if they do not get enough time to spend with each other, this diminishes the sense of attachment or closeness to each other, and it may lead to bitterness and disagreement frequently experienced in their daily life. Another important cause of marital conflict is conflicting ideologies and convictions of husband and wife. Now, these conflicting ideologies or different viewpoints, if I put it in a simple way, can be with respect to the issues of child raising. Husband and wife can differ clearly with respect to their parenting style, and when both of them are confirmed, they are pretty much sure about what they are doing is correct, and they simply lack appreciation towards the approach and concerns and priorities of the other person. This is going to create a lot of conflict in their life, that too frequently, because child care is a continuous responsibility. Similarly, they may have clashes over core values also. What should be done, what should not be done, because their value system is different. Or there may be clashes over their career related issues. In many households, it has been found that the female, the wife, wants to work outside, wants to pursue her career, but somehow either it is not accepted by the husband, or the freedom is greatly curtailed. So the wife suffers from a sense of erosion, role erosion. I am permitted to work, but along with all of the family responsibilities. So obviously the wife in such a case will get very limited time to pursue her career related work or tasks. So this may somehow restrict the possibility of growth in the career. Somehow it may restrict the wife for part-time jobs instead of following the full-time jobs in which she may be interested in. Similarly, unmet desires from each side can cause a lot of stress and tension in the relationship. Handling major life transitions can be a source of stress. For example, if one of the partner loses job, now there is a complication with the self-esteem. Especially if this happens with husbands, they closely connect it with their self-esteem, with their right and authority as the head of the family, and they start doubting every behavior of their wife and children if it doesn't suit their own style, as if people are not ready to listen to them because they are not no more earning, or now they have not remained the important person, the head of the family, because they are now not earning. They lack financial power. So their role inside the family, their importance inside the family, everything is somehow related with their earnings, their financial power. If this is the attitude carried out by any one of the partner, it is going to cause a lot of distress for the family. Similarly, birth or aging of children is another big stressor. With the birth of a child, obviously parents get engaged with their children. They are not capable of sparing that much of time for each other as they used to do before the birth of the child. So with the introduction of child care responsibilities, as their workload increases and the leisure time decreases, it may cause a misunderstanding and a kind of strain within the marital relationship. Similarly, social stresses like family dilemmas, if there are multiple responsibilities to be fulfilled, which one should be fulfilled first? If husband and wife differ in this approach, or if they have some kind of problems at their workplace, which is being carried to the family intentionally or unintentionally, or there is some sort of dynamics with their friend's life, with their relatives' life, anything can happen which may cause significant stress in the marital relationship. Now, those were the few causes which are the common ones which were experienced by all of us at one point of time or the other. Now we are going to deal with how these stresses are going to affect us. First of all, it definitely creates problems in our mental health. For example, in households where frequent marital conflicts are there, both the parents suffer from anxiety, depression, decreased self confidence, and a feeling of despair. Moreover, chronic physical health issues can also be developed, like endocrine problems, cardiovascular disorders, and problems related to immune systems. These things are very common in people who suffer from poor quality of marital relationship. Similarly, when all this happens, happiness goes away. So, if the relationship is very strained, there is no happiness experienced by people who are in that relationship. Rather, there is an excessive stress and a constant conflict that can diminish the feeling of joy, closeness, and bond in the relationship. Can we do something to manage these things more effectively apart from fighting, arguing, and quarreling with each other? Yes, of course, we can do a lot of things, and two of them are already discussed. For example, we have talked about adjustment and conflict in one of our earlier lectures. While talking about adjustments, we also learn how to reinstate a state of balance when required, and we also talked about the strategies of conflict resolution, especially interpersonal conflicts. We can get back to those contents again, and we can draw some meaningful insights for successful conflict resolution from there. Here, I would like to state the importance of maintaining an open and candid conversation between husband and wife. If they are not ready to engage in conversation, or if they are not ready to reveal their true self to their partners, what they actually want, what they actually think, if it is not clearly conveyed to each other, this may create a lot of problem in the marital relationship. So, maintaining an open communication is a must. Then, while communicating, one must be engaged in active listening. That is, I am not simply listening to my partner, rather I am listening to him or her so that I can understand him, so that I can get the basic points out of the discussion, and I can be able to make necessary amendments then. Okay. Whenever we fail to do these things on our own, we must not hesitate finding support from other people. Those other people can be our family members, they can be our friends, our colleagues, or a professional helper, a professional counselor, or therapist. So, one must not hesitate asking for help whenever needed. Then, developing the ability to address conflict in a positive way by learning how to make compromises, how to make negotiations, and recognizing when it is beneficial to take the help of professional people can help us in a great way. Once the person is in a state which is reflected by marital conflict, or which encompasses marital conflict, it is important to adopt a two-fold approach. One, to take proper care of oneself, and the second is to work for conflict resolution. Mostly what happens, we keep trying for resolving conflict without realizing that taking self care is equally important. So, we can introduce some self care activities like exercising, meditating, or any hobbies that we enjoy. This was about the important topic of marital conflict. Here is a list of the point what we have done in this particular lecture. We have seen that unresolved conflicts in intimate relationships may contribute to elevated stress level. Communication problems, budget problems, absence of closeness, conflicting ideologies and value systems, unmet desires and handling major life challenges are the potential stresses which are found in this relationship, and it has got a deep impact on the mental health, physical health and social relationship aspect of both husband and wife. Then it also has a capacity to decrease the level of happiness one has. In order to do away with such complications, one can maintain an open and effective communication by engaging in active listening, by seeking support from others, maybe informal or formal, from therapists and counselors, and by developing conflict resolution skills, and at the same time we must not forget to take care of ourselves. These were some steps to manage the marital conflict successfully. Here are the references which have been used to design this draft, and these are the books recommended for further reading. A few more books are there. Thank you very much for your patient listening. Thank you.